Fort Lansin, doomed Belgian obstacle in Germany's path. The fort's guardians, among the first of the war's millions of casualties. In the opening months, the mould for a new kind of war was cast in the West. Industrialized states locked in conflict. Over 7 million men armed with the latest technology. 11 million civilians under brutal occupation. A rare wartime recording of Kaiser Wilhelm II addressing the German people.
Es muss denn das Schwert nun entscheiden. Mitten im Frieden überfällt uns der Feind. Noch nie war Deutschland überwunden, wenn es einig war. Vorwärts mit Gott, der mit uns sein wird, wie er mit den Vätern war.
Germany, with 3.8 million men, faced a similar-sized French army to her west. But 3 million Russians were attacking in the east. Germany's resources were split between two fronts, and she couldn't easily smash through France's chain of forts along the border. But Belgium's defences were weaker. The idea of going through Belgium was General Schlieffen's, his way of storming into France and encircling the French army. But Schlieffen had retired in 1905, and by 1914 his successors had no illusion that there was any swift victory to be had in a two-front war. Indeed, at the start of Germany's war there was an air of pessimism, desperation, improvisation. General von Moltke, the German commander, acknowledged the uncertainties.
I will do what I can. We are not superior to the French.
The Germans went to war less with a master plan than a recognition that they would have to take the war bit by bit. And the first bit was Belgium. The Germans knew Britain had guaranteed Belgian neutrality, but reckoned Britain would come into the war sooner or later, whichever route the Germans took into France. The Belgians put their faith in reinforced concrete forts, armed with German Krupp guns. The Germans brought their massive siege guns, the Big Berthas, named after Krupp's daughter, to smash them.
The monster advanced in two parts, pulled by 36 horses. The pavement trembled. The crows went mute with consternation at the appearance of this phenomenal apparatus. Then came the frightful explosion. The crowd was flung back. The earth shook like an earthquake, and all the window panes in the vicinity were shattered.
Colonel Victor Naissance was in Fort Lansin on the receiving end. Once the thick metal shutters were pulled down, the heavy metal doors shut, the fort and its fate were sealed.
The ventilation system has failed. The chimney of the generator is totally blocked. The fort is also filling with concrete dust. The men's chests heave to get air. They're suffocating. They don't look like humans anymore. Their features distorted with agony and hate.
A German shell had hit the magazine, bringing down the 6-foot-thick concrete roof, crushing 250 soldiers to death. The survivors were horrifically burnt. By the 16th of August, all the forts around Liège had fallen. But Belgium's war was only beginning. The Germans claimed that Belgian civilian snipers, francs-tireurs, were firing at them from garret windows and rooftops. In fact, most of the shots came from small units of retreating French and Belgian soldiers, or from nervous German troops shooting at each other. Nevertheless, General von Moltke issued a warning to the people of Belgium.
Anybody who, in any form, participates without authorization will be considered as franc-tireur and summarily shot on the spot.
Rare German newsreel of suspected franc-tireur being taken prisoner. Lurid stories filtered back to raw German troops leaving for the front, heightening their sense of paranoia.
At all training sessions, we're told about the nastiness of the French, that our wounded have their eyes gouged out, their noses and ears cut off. We're given to understand we are to act without mercy.
The pressure to maintain a speedy advance through a hostile population led to atrocities. These were not just the impetuous actions of frightened troops. They became part of a systematic plan to terrorize and demoralize the enemy.
We've been ordered to kill everyone and wipe off the map part of the left bank of the Meuse. It's a tremendously honorable task and we'll be famous forever.
The Belgian town of Tamines on the 22nd of August 1914. French troops kept up a storm of fire at the advancing Germans from across the River Sambre. The Germans rounded up civilians, including Fernand Scoyer, for a special task.
We are forced to advance, acting as a shield for the Germans, who follow behind us. But they fall, mown down by French bullets. One of them charges at us like a man possessed and only stops when his bayonet has gone right through poor Materne, who leaves behind a widow and 3 orphans.
After the French withdrew, the Germans were convinced that Belgian snipers were active, so they torched the town. They held hostages like Adolphe Serran captive in the church overnight, then escorted them down the Rue de la Station in the morning.
The soldiers up on carts beat us brutally. The priests in particular were badly treated. Jokes, swearing, blows.
Nearly 400 men, women and children, among them the priest, Father Donnet, were herded into the main square by the riverbank. A German firing squad was waiting for them. A whistle blew, and the shooting began.
There was total chaos among the crowd. Some fell dead, others pushed blindly. I found myself on the ground, the tide moving above me. I was suffocating. I was hit by 2 bullets in the kidneys. I felt their holes drill into me.
Arthur Fauvel fell on top of me, dead. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get out from under the pile of corpses. They cut the head off Achille Leroy, the coalman. I saw it, the head separated from the trunk.
The ultimate cruelty was when the soldiers checked the victims one by one. Any still alive they bayoneted violently, then threw them in the Sambre.
Photographs of some of those who remarkably survived the German bullets and those who fell victim. A total of 6,500 French and Belgian civilians, including women and children, were killed in the first month of the war. A 180,000 Belgian refugees crossed the Channel to Britain. The stories of German atrocities against plucky little Belgium provided ideal propaganda to rally Allied public opinion behind the war. The image of the murderous Hun, the barbaric Boche, was born. But what drove this nation, whose soldiers massacred women and children, razed towns to the ground, shot priests, yet had the engraving on their belt buckles, Gott mit uns, God is with us?